What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video. The final season has kicked off and the fight to save HYDRA has begun. This was a strong season opener, and while I wasn't too much of a fan of the last season, I hope this final season was better, but I did kind of enjoy last season. It just really wasn't as good as its preceding one. There will be spoilers for the season 7 opener, and if you're new, then please do drop a like down below and subscribe with notifications on as well. So with that out of the way, let's dive into this breakdown. Marvel's favourite couple here are once again separated, as they are the sole reason for the Chromicon invasion, so Fitz is away but still working on stopping the threat. The question is, where is he? Well, he could literally be anywhere in hiding. He could be a watcher on the blue part of the moon, or he could be just chilling out on planet Kitson. Yes, the entire brain of those two was scanned, so the evil robots know exactly when and where to destroy S.H.I.E.L.D, as we're finding out so far, with each episode this season actually having a different time period. Coulson is back, and well, yeah, it's not technically Coulson, it's an LMD, and his last brain scan was during the framework, but I'm happy the real Coulson, as much as we can get the real Coulson, is back. And last season's weird explanation for how the villains had human looks and one looked like Coulson and things like that was very contrived, and I didn't really like it all that much, but I'm glad that he's back here and he's catching up very, very quickly. He also has superpowers, obviously, as LMDs are strong, so Coulson will have a lot more action than before, considering he's surrounded by Inhumans and Mack, who is also, you know, a badass, so this will be a lot of fun to see. The crew have tracked down the machines to the 1930s America, and like I said, each episode will see the squad go into different time periods throughout S.H.I.E.L.D. and HYDRA's history, as we see the Triskelion blowing up next week, and also what looks like a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier, so maybe they are actually going to the Winter Soldier era next week. Initially, it is not clear what the Chronicoms want, but after a lot of fighting, they find out, or at least the team think, it is FDR, Franklin D. Roosevelt himself, the one who signed off on SSR and S.H.I.E.L.D. And I mean, the episode is named after his famous New Deal, which changed American lives for the better. But no, it's not the iconic president. The real target was Freddy, who will then turn out to be the father of Gideon Malick, who was actually the leader of HYDRA within the United States. There are many different leaders of HYDRA, which is why they say, you know, cut off one head and, you know, like many will pop up and things like that. So that's why there are multiple leaders, and Red Skull was just a version of that. Now, this is a real problem, as the team must look after and help to nurture their enemy, who is actually going to become their enemy. Yes, it gets very, very confusing here. This changes what happened in Winter Soldier, as Arnim Zola states that after the war, when S.H.I.E.L.D. was formed, HYDRA infiltrated it via Operation Paperclip, which was a US initiative to hire Nazi scientists, which worked, and that's why we got the US space program. Yeah, bit awkward. We know Gideon grew up worshipping HYDRA and was brainwashed by his father to achieve this goal, whose father is now in the 1930s being protected by S.H.I.E.L.D, the ones who only a few seasons ago actually had to stop Gideon, with Quake herself under mind control, killing Gideon Malick there. So it's a bit awkward, and we all know that this is going to get very, very dicey as it goes on. And well, this is all very poetic, as they must allow Freddy to become HYDRA and live out his family's legacies, or S.H.I.E.L.D. and the world as we know it will cease to exist. The girl who was also shot tried to get him to come back and have his family legacy. Well, who could that be? Well, there is one version I think it could be, and it might be Valentina Allegra del Fontaine, who actually became the second Madame HYDRA. Yes, in the comics she was an Italian socialite, jet setter and things like that. We've seen one version of Madame HYDRA in the framework with Ada, and this version, or Allegra, did take over that role, so they may be adapting this character, but like I said, this might be just a long shot there. It's just me completely guessing. Like I said, next week does look like they will be heading to Winter Soldier times, and there is a full-scale invasion as well, which is going to be very, very fun to see. Agent May has also escaped her pod after her brush with death against S.H.I.E.L.D, and looks a bit possessed there. Dude, Agent May has also escaped her pod after her brush with death against S.H.I.E.L.D, and looks a bit possessed, so it would be interesting if we have a reverse of last season with Coulson sort of not himself, but looking like himself, and we may also have that with Agent May, where she looks like herself, but she isn't actually herself. Overall, this, like I said, was a strong opener to the season, and for me, the show has been very, very strong since season 4, and if they find a way to fully connect this to the MCU proper, yes, it is connected, but sort of not. It's a bit awkward. This will be a great thing for MCU fans who haven't watched this and slept on this series to watch in between movies there. Now, one thing I hope is to see a true connection to the MCU, which would be a lot easier than expected, as before the team were messing with the future we had when they were in space. Well, this had little impact on the past, but now if they are messing with the past, then surely the Time Variance Authority could get involved, causing this to actually combine with the Loki TV series, as he is actually imprisoned by them going by the trailer for that show. It'd be very funny if it ended up like Seinfeld, where they were all in jail and Coulson looks across the cell and sees Loki there capping off the entire series. It probably won't happen, but it might be cool nonetheless. Of course, as well, there was the codename Swordfish, which would be a very, very funny turnout if Sword got its name from the Swordfish codename way back in the past. Clark Gregg and Loeb have also said that there will be a connection to the MCU this season, so maybe it will be after the snap and refitting time so that they can fit in the MCU. Maybe their actions in the past push them off course, and then suddenly they will be matched up with the movie timeline, so there may be that. Now, to do an absolute Columbo, just one more thing before we go. It's an interesting thing to discuss in this video and episode, because they actually have possibly a future version or early version of the Super Soldier Serum, which is very curious because, well, we know that Red Skull and Hydra wanted that Super Soldier Serum and they tried to get it very early on, but they didn't do that well. Obviously, Captain America was made and he smashed fascism right in the gabba. So with that in mind, we do have an early version of this serum, and quite coincidentally, we will have a very early version of Steve Rogers walking around just while his biggest fan, Coulson, as an LMD, is walking around as well. So that is very, very curious there, and an early version of the Super Soldier Serum is very curious because that will play a big part if it was, or at least changed, by the messaging with them in time in the past. Now, it could be something else. It could be the serum and the weird sort of Kree blood that actually used during the Tahiti program. So we will have to work out just what is going on in here. And I do think that this will play a big part into the entirety of the season. But that's all for this video. So if you enjoyed it, please do drop a like and sub with notifications on so you never miss a video. And if you want more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. videos, please do comment down below and let me know what you want on this channel. We have a Snyder Cut, Aya Cut, DCEU mega video coming tomorrow, and probably another Tenet video there on Saturday. So I'll see you soon, and goodbye.